So I like to go over a shiur that I just gave. We made a shiur in the headline podcast about Ozempic. You know what's Ozempic? Yeah. So it's a wonderful thing. It helps you to lose weight. What it does, it works on two levels. One thing is it mimics a hormone that sends the message to the brain that you're full, you don't need to eat. So you don't feel any appetite. And secondly, it also causes that the stomach slowly digests the food, and it takes much longer. This way, you don't feel hungry. So there's few questions that come to mind. One question is, since when you eat, you don't feel hungry for a while, by when can you say Birkat Hamazon? It extends much longer. So I'll read you the Lashon of the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Kuf Pei Dalet Seif Hey, Ad Matai Yachol Levachech, until when, after you eat a seuda, until when can you say Birkat Hamazon? Ad Sheitakel Hamazon Shebeme'av. It needs to be digested. Now, not fully digested, as long as it's a little bit digested already, you can say Birkat Hamazon. But until until it's digested, while you still feel full, you're not hungry yet, you could still say Birkat Hamazon on the food that you ate. Kama shiuro, when do you know that it's digested? Kol zman she'eno ra'ev me'ota achila. As long as you're not hungry, it's not digested. Once you feel a little bit hungry, it means that the process started, and then you can't say Birkat Hamazon anymore because you could start eating. That's a siman, that shows a sign that already the stomach gets a little bit empty. בשעה שהתחיל להיות רעב, אף על פי שלא ניתקל עדיין לגמרי. It wasn't digested completely. כי ניתקל לגמרי דיינין עליה. That's the לשון of the Shulchan Aruch. Same thing would be אכילת פירות ושתיית יין. אם אינו רעב ולא צמא, ותאהב לאותם פירות, יברך. If you ate fruits, you drink wine, and you feel that you're okay, you don't feel that you're hungry. Sometimes you have appetite. You start eating and you want more. That's not included in that. That's because you build appetite. But if you ate a fruit, you had enough fruits and you're good, you don't have appetite for more. Then after a while you feel that the stomach gets a little bit empty, you feel a little bit hungry, then you can say Birkat. If it's perot, you can say the bracha me'en shalosh or Birkat nefashot. You lost that. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't wait until then. You have to say Birkat Hamazon right away. When you finish eating, say Birkat Hamazon right away. Don't wait and delay Birkat Hamazon. That's how the Or Letzion brings down. Rather, do it right away. Bracha Rishona, even if you already aren't hungry anymore, so there's a machloket if you should say you want to continue eating. You ate a fruit and you're not hungry right now. You ate it half hour ago. And you're good now. Now you became hungry again. Should you say again the bracha on the fruits? Whether it is, let's say you take an apple, you say etz. Should you say bracha? The Magen Avraham says you do, but most of the Achronim say you don't. Everything that we're discussing right now is concerning bracha achona. So let's summarize this. When you eat and you are full from the seuda, you could say Birkat Hamazon until you start getting hungry again. How long that usually takes? It can take up to 6 hours, the Magen Avraham brings down. Up to 6 hours. If you still feel full, you ate enough, it takes 6 hours for the food to get digested. But if you feel a little bit hungry beforehand, you can't say Birkat Hamazon anymore. That is when we're talking about Birkat Hamazon. But if you ate something minor, you ate something small, you ate a couple of cookies, you ate fruits, so you don't wait that long. What's the shiur? The shiur is 72 minutes. 72 minutes, by then already you can say the bracha for those fruits or mezonot or whatever it is. You lost out the bracha after 72 minutes. Okay, so now we're talking about a person that takes the shots. He's not hungry at all. He can take that much longer. He's full. He ate a little bit. He's full. He can take that much longer. So what would be the shiur? Again, as we explained, up to 6 hours when we're talking about eating a full meal. If you ate some other things, so if you are full with just a little bit, we said you can go up to 72 minutes. But it's correct if you didn't eat much, if you ate very little, to eat a little bit more before you say the bracha achona. Okay, now comes around the question, interesting question. What about if you ate and you threw up? Sometimes a person throws up everything he ate. It happened right away. He ate, and right after he ate, he threw up everything. What do you give him? 72 minutes? Do you give him more than that? Do you give him less? So the Ben Ish Chai, many poskim, but the Ben Ish Chai also in the Torah Lishma brings down that since you threw up everything you ate, you become, it's not less than digested. The food is not in the stomach anymore, so you can't say the bracha Birkat Hamazon anymore, the other brachot that you might want to say. By drinking, don't get this confused with drinking. Drinking, the Mishnah Berurah brings down in Siman Kuf Tzadik that even a little bit time, even just a very short time after you drink, you might lose the bracha achona, because drinking gets very quickly, unlike food. So don't delay. Rather, as soon as you finish drinking, you don't want to drink anymore, say the bracha achona. So a person that's on those shots is not hungry. So we said that you can go longer than that. But when you eat something minor, we said that since it's questionable in halacha, try to eat a little bit more before saying. If you waited, you're already up to or close to an hour or so. So take a little bit more. This way you mutzi yourself from all the sfekot. You don't have any doubts. Now another question that comes around that we discussed is what about a person that eats half a kazait, less than a kazait, which means like this. When you eat something, bracha rishona, you eat even on a crumb. You take a crumb of anything, you have to say the bracha. You take a crumb of an apple, a little bit, you say birkat borei pri ha'etz. You take bread, you say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, even on a crumb, right? Question on netilat yadayim. Netilat yadayim you don't do. Netilat yadayim, if you eat a kazait, you do netilat yadayim with that bracha. If you eat kabeitza, which is twice kazait, you say netilat yadayim. If that's the plan, you want to eat kabeitza, you want to eat 2 kazetot. So you say you do netilat yadayim with bracha. But now a person ate, and he knows by half a kazait is good, because again, it fills him up very, very quickly, and it lasts. Should he say Birkat Hamazon? Chachamim told us that Birkat Hamazon, not Birkat Hamazon, Birkat Hamazon on bread. Should you say Birkat Hamazon on bread? Chachamim told us in the halacha that it needs to be kazait, less than kazait. You don't say Birkat Hamazon. But the Torah says, V'achalta v'savata uverachta. Mi she'achal k'dei sviya. If you ate enough to be satisfied, you full, you should say Birkat Hamazon. The Chachamim, normally you need to eat a large amount. Chachamim told you that even less than that, you say Birkat Hamazon. Em ichmiru, the Torah said, Savata, v'em ichmiru bekazait v'kabetza. Even a very small shiur that you ate a kazait, you ate a kabetza, you say Birkat Hamazon, even though you're not hungry, or you're still hungry. The Torah says v'savata. You don't feel satisfied. You're still hungry. You can eat more. But you don't have any more. You don't want to eat anymore because you're in diet right now, or whatever it is, but you still could eat more. You're not fully satisfied. The Torah calls it achalta v'savata, calls it that you can say uberachta. You can't say Birkat Hamazon. Chachamim said bekazait v'kabetza. That's the minimum shiur. What happens on the opposite scenario? That Chachamim said you make a Birkat Hamazon on kazait. And you ate half a kazait, and now you feel satisfied. So over here we found the machloket. Chatam Sofer says that the Chachamim only came to be machmir. Over here, the Torah is more machmir. The Torah in half a kazait, it flips around. Now it's more chumrah to say Birkat Hamazon, and what the Torah comments, ve'achalta ve'savata, you ate k'dei sviya. So Chatam Sofer says, indeed, you say Birkat Hamazon even on a very small shiur. And others argued, like the Imre Emet, and many others feel that once Chachamim gave you a shiur, Chachamim can shape the halachot of the Torah, the mitzvot of the Torah. We found that many places that the Chachamim shape the mitzvot of the Torah, and whatever they say, that's the way it is. So that would be a machloket. L'maaseh, it seems like most of the poskim hold that you don't say Birkat Hamazon in a shiur that is less than kazait. Another interesting question that comes around. What about fasting? We spoke about fasting. A person that ate before Yom Kippur, on Kippur, he's not hungry at all. He can go throughout the whole Yom Kippur, and he doesn't feel hungry at all. He can go through the whole day, no issues, no problem. But the Torah says, "V'initem et nafshotechem." So, are you mekayem einui hanefesh? Do you mekayem the mitzvah of the Torah of fasting when you don't feel hungry at all? You ate before Yom Kippur, you're all good. You can go another day even. You can go 2 days, no problem at all. Over here also we found the machloket. The Sdei Chemet brings, he says, Gaon, the Shem of Orbach in Yerushalayim, that said that it's not good. You can't do that. You can't make all kind of tricks to satisfy yourself in such a way that you won't be hungry on Yom Kippur. It's a question on kalei tzom. You take those pills and it slowly releases into the stomach and it gives you a satisfied feeling for a much longer time. So in the Sdei Chemet he brings down it's asur. Other poskim also bring like that, but there are many that permit to take those kalei tzom or to go with that shot much longer. That's going to take you satisfied through the whole Yom Kippur. So the Mishnah Halachot, Rabbi Menashe Klein explains very good. He says just like we found that the Torah says that on the 9th of Tishrei, Erev Yom Kippur, you should eat a lot. The Torah wants you to eat a lot. It's a mitzvah of the Torah, mitzvah min Torah, to eat a lot Erev Yom Kippur. Why? So you're not going to come hungry into Yom Kippur. Torah wants you to eat a lot. So you see that a person is allowed to prepare himself in such a thing that would take him through Yom Kippur without being hungry. Whatever you could do, you can go around like taking the kalei tzom or the shots that one should take. Secondly, he explained that the mitzvah of inui, initem et nafshotechem, is not to be tortured actively, but rather the reason that you're not, the fact that you're not eating, that's inui, not that you feel hungry. You don't need, the inui is not feeling hungry, and rather that you prevent yourself from eating, from enjoying food, from enjoying the drink. We found that in other things. Inui also is neilat sandal. A person could be home and is very comfortable, but inui is that you prevent yourself from doing actively things like neilat sandal, tashmish amita, rechitza, and tzicha. All those things are, even though you might not feel bad because of that, you feel tortured, but inui, but as long as you not having it, that is the active having it, that is called the inui. Okay, so that would be also an interesting question that comes with those shots. Now, can you take those shots on Shabbat? Shabbat, a person is allowed to take those shots, and any shots a person is allowed to take, because the only thing that's not allowed to do is when you opening in the body, that's leachnis uleotzi. That's asur min Torah. Opening that opens to enter things and to take out and exit things. But over here, you just push something in, push the syringe, push the shot inside the body, push the liquid inside, and it's done. That is permitted. That is not a problem. Thank you.